begins. This one in the NBA, the Western Conference Finals, the Spurs at the Thunder. This is the matchup we've been waiting for. The defending champs, led by two-time MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, against Wemby and up-and-coming San Antonio. A key fact, the Spurs went 4-1 against the Thunder this season. Our NBA reporter Tim McMahon is on the scene in OKC covering the Thunder. So Jalen Williams missed the Thunder's last 6 playoff games due to a hamstring strain. What are you hearing about how he's feeling ahead of tonight's Game 1?
Howdy, Christine. Jalen Williams is ready to go. And frankly, if the series against the Lakers was a competitive series, he probably would have returned for Game 4. They were on the verge of a sweep. They got that business done, buying him another week or so to be able to rest up. But he is fully recovered. Now, what we don't know, is there a minutes limit? The Thunder are keeping those cards close to the vest. We're not certain about what the starting lineup's going to look like. He has started every single game he's played in since early in his rookie year. If he returns to the starting lineup, is A.J. Mitchell coming off the bench after starting against the Lakers? Could they go small with Isaiah Hartenstein? Those questions, we'll find the answers out to that 30 minutes before tip-off. Okay, so we'll wait for those answers. J-Dub's teammate Shai Gilgeous-Alexander won his second straight MVP yesterday with Nikola Jokic and Victor Wembanyama finishing second and third respectively. So what did SGA tell you about what he anticipates from Wemby tonight? Well, he's well aware that Victor Wembanyama believes that he should have been the most valuable player of the league. He made that very clear as he was campaigning for the award, and SGA respects it. He says basically he's an extreme competitor, and to achieve the things that Wemby's trying to achieve, that SGA's trying to achieve, frankly has achieved, you have to have that kind of super confidence in yourself, as SGA put it. And look, he's not adding any fuel to the fire in terms of motivation for Wemby. He says, we understand what kind of challenge this is. This guy presents things that nobody else ever has in the league before.
All right, I just want to say, Chet Holmgren, I heard that his Burberry trench coat was a little short for him. If he needs anybody to take that off his hands while he gets another one, just tell him I got him. Thanks, Tim. So Shai won his second straight MVP award, and it wasn't particularly close, getting over 300 more points than Nikola Jokic in second. SGA also was a landslide in first place votes, taking that spot in 83 of the 100 ballot.
I mean, having just 5 first place votes for Victor Wembanyama.
That's crazy.
For the Spurs and that fan base, I think that just fueled the fire for the 22-year-old.
And we know that Wemby campaigned there towards the end of the season, wanting to get that MVP award. But of course, that goes to SGA. And we're on the scene again in OKC with Michael C. Wright, who's covering the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals. So, Michael, how do you expect Victor Wembanyama to use SGA's MVP win as motivation?
Well, let me first tell you that Victor Wembanyama, he said that one of the things that all the greats have in common, he said that they snatched up every accolade and award that they could earlier in their career. Well, obviously, you know Vic envisions himself as a guy that becomes one of the great ones. So, also, let's go back to February and March when he was campaigning. Not only did he just, it wasn't a simple campaign. We're talking about bullet points that he was making. So, I haven't talked to Victor since Game 6 of the Western Conference semis, but let's just see how he comes out tonight. If he comes out trying to block everything and, you know, doing what Victor does, I'm pretty sure he was highly motivated by SGA winning MVP over him.
I would imagine he wants to prove to everybody that he believes that he should have been MVP. Also, Michael, the Spurs do have De'Aaron Fox on the injury report. What can you share about his injured ankle?
Well, I'm ashamed that I've been looking at the man's ankle as much as I have, but he did hurt that ankle in Game 4 of the Western Conference semis, and he tweaked it again in Game 5, but he was able to play. He has not missed any time. He said, De'Aaron Fox said that he's going to test that ankle all day long. So he said he would also be trying to come out early for his pregame warm-up just to make sure that he's ready to go. But look, De'Aaron is a guy that has played 72 games this season, and he hasn't missed a game since March. De'Aaron is not a guy that's going to miss games. I'm telling you, if that thing feels good enough for him to go, he's definitely going to try it.
All right, he averaged 17.2 points against OKC in all 5 games during the regular season and the NBA Cup. Michael, enjoy. Thank you. To smoking the Pistons in Detroit by 31 to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. They lost their first 5 postseason games this year before winning the last 2. Next up, the Knicks at MSG tomorrow. Here's a look back on last night's upset for Cleveland.
Let them know Game 7.
Whatever it takes, you need to do that tonight.
And the Cavaliers control the tip. We're underway in Game 7. Mitchell, the handles. What a maneuver. Gets it inside. And Jared Allen rocks the rim. 2 seconds. 1 second. Mitchell banks it in. A spider bite at the end of the quarter.
Great start. Great start. Great job just hitting the first open man. Keep making good decisions in the paint.
Mitchell drives, gives it to Mobley. Pow!
Donovan Mitchell just distributing all over the place.
Cavaliers are trying to make their first trip to the conference finals without LeBron on the roster. Mitchell wants to dance with Reed. Donovan Mitchell! Chef's kiss!
This is as well as I've ever seen him play.
And this topsy-turvy series belongs to Cleveland. A blowout Game 7 win in Detroit to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Nothing better than winning a Game 7 on the road. I mean, look at all these fans we got. Insane. Let's go!
Hey, Donovan, I was going to do this whether we won or whether we lost. We turn to you. Not just your on-court, but your leadership. We never celebrate you in these things. You don't want that. You don't want the praise. But tonight, you deserve the praise.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
But like, we didn't just come here just to do this. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, till tomorrow till we land, enjoy it, and then we go from there, right?
What do you got, Dom?
Family on 3, 1, 2, 3. Family. I mean, it's been 9 years of not getting to this point, but we finally got here. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna enjoy it for about 12 hours, and then we got to move on and get ready for a talented Knicks team.
NBA champion Danny Green is with us now. So, Danny, what was so impressive about Cleveland going on the road and pulling off that very big Game 7 win?
Just how big and how much the others stepped up for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Guys like Sam Merrill, Jared Allen had a heck of a Game 7. You know, Evan Mobley playing big inside. But you got to give a lot of credit where it started, and that's Donovan Mitchell. He put on an absolute clinic as a point guard in that game, distributing, getting like 5 or 6 assists early, also scoring, being efficient, setting up Jared Allen and Evan Mobley to have easy dunks and layups, and of course them protecting the rim. And you got guys like Sam Merrill knocking down threes. He had like 15 points in the first quarter. Dean Wade joined the party. So how those other guys stepped up, they're going to need them to do that in this next series for them to have a chance because the Knicks are rolling right now.
Yeah, speaking of the Knicks, history has shown that time off usually equals rest instead of rust. Teams are 19-4 in series when coming off a sweep and facing a team that just played a 7-game series. That includes 6 straight series wins. The last team to lose in that scenario was the Spurs in 2013 against the Heat. So what are your expectations in this Cavs-Knicks series?
I was a part of that 2013 Spurs, actually, but I expect the Knicks to keep rolling and playing good basketball. They may be a little rusty because 10 days off is a lot, but they definitely needed it for OG Anunoby to heal up. But, yeah, it's going to take a minute or two or maybe a full game for them to get that rust out. But they just have so many weapons, man. Deuce McBride, Landry Shamet off the bench. Of course, Mikal Bridges is playing at a high level. And then Jalen Brunson. They just have nobody that can stop him or guard him on that other side of the floor at the Cleveland Cavaliers uniform. If Cat does what Cat does and being – distributor and starting the offense and attacking the rim and doing that and staying out of foul trouble, this should be a pretty good New York Knicks series for them to be back in the finals for the first time in like 27 years.
I just want to be very clear. We weren't trying to bring back bad memories about that 2013 Spurs thing.
All good. No worries.
The Knicks got 2 of 3 against Cleveland this year, but Cleveland won the most recent with James Harden in the lineup. Danny, we'll see. Still working on how to beat the Thunder. The Spurs won 4 of 5 meetings versus OKC in the regular season. The Thunder went 63-14 against everyone else. Danny Green, he's back. All right, so we're looking at a lot of matchups in this one, right? Wemby versus Chet, Stephon Castle, and SGA, but you have your eye on another matchup. What is it?
I'm looking at the coaches. This is going to be a chess match. Mitch Johnson, Mark Daigneault, we're going to see what they're made of in this series because both these two teams are pretty evenly matched. They have a lot of talent. They have a lot of depth. They have a lot of firepower and star power. So we're going to see who's going to make the right adjustments, who's going to put in the right lineups, who's going to have the right matchups and outsmart each other. Mitch Johnson, Coach of the Year candidate for good reason. Mark Daigneault, I think he's won one before. So we're going to see what these two coaches have in store and who's going to make the right adjustments throughout the series to give their team an edge. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be exciting because these two teams have matched up. Everybody's going to want to see this, but I think it really comes down to what these two guys can come in store and cook up and chef up for their team to give them, a chance to win the series.
You mentioned the lineups. If you're Mark Daigneault, what are you telling Jalen Williams as he returns to play for what is a huge series?
Obviously, they need him to be aggressive. But with the emergence of A.J. Mitchell, we don't need you to score as much as you were before. Kind of come in, be a Jason Tatum role, pick and choose your moments, be aggressive and assertive. That doesn't mean for yourself, but for a teammate. And rebound. Rebound, play great defense, assist, take the pressure off Shea some, and then also make it easier for A.J. Mitchell. But we don't need you to score as much right away because we have some other guys that have shown growth in that area. Not only A.J. Mitchell, they have Jared McCain. Obviously, Lou Dort and Alex Caruso can knock down shots, but Cason Wallace has been a sniper. Isaiah Joe has been a sniper. They have a lot of shooting and good pieces around them, so he doesn't have to come back in right away and start averaging 20. He can just kind of I wouldn't say ease himself in, but he can be more of a distributor.
Yeah, the depth on that team cannot be denied. Okay, so here's the real question. Who are you picking to win this series?
Man, I'm rooting for my Spurs. I'd love to see them come out of this one. If they do it, they have to do it in 6, but I'm going to give the edge to OKC because of experience, and I'm going to say they can do it in Game 7.
Okay, I like that. These teams had some pretty memorable matchups when you played in San Antonio. I know we brought back that 2013, but this should be a really good
final. Sports betting analyst Aaron Dolan joining us now. Aaron, you've got plays on both of these young guys. Let's start with Wemby. What's the approach here tonight?
I'm looking at Wemby to go over 13.5 rebounds. I wouldn't go any higher than this. This number was at 12.5 for the majority of the day, but has increased. And if we look at Wemby so far during this postseason, he's had at least 12 points in 6 of 10 playoff games, and he's the Defensive Player of the Year for a reason. And defense, as we know, really shows up in the postseason. And on top of that, the minutes should be there. And even if Isaiah Hartenstein or Chet Holmgren really give him any type of issues, I still think he should be able to clear this mark of 13.5 boards. Now, on the other side of the ball, I'm looking at Chet Holmgren to go under 15.5 points. It's been impressive what he's done so far in this postseason, averaging 19 points, and this is the lowest points prop we've seen so far for him, but I ultimately think he'll go under this mark tonight, knowing that Jalen Williams will and then also during the regular season against San Antonio, he put up 10 or less points in 3 or 4 meetings, so I do like Chet to go under his points prop of 15.5.
Okay, those are 2 players. Now, what about the game as a whole? How are you playing this one?
I'm looking at the first half spread. I would go San Antonio plus 3.5. If they're going to give any fight in this game, I do believe it will be in the first half, as we saw during the regular season when San Antonio won 4 or 5 meetings. And the last time these teams met, San Antonio was up by 15 points in the first half alone. Now, as for OKC, when we just look at this spread as a whole, yes, they're laying 6.5 points, the shortest spread for them so far in this postseason. But the one thing about OKC is they can really take off in that third and fourth quarter. So therefore, I do think that San Antonio can hang in the first half. So I take them 3.5.
Spurs right now 6.5 point full game underdogs tonight, and